Brazilian Miku triggers progressive Twitter users. Well, this was always gonna happen. I
Here.
mean, it
So I'm
triggered.
always looking for an excuse to talk about Hatsune Miku, and today I have just that because one of the biggest art trends right now involves this character, and it all began with this post right here. This is the ground zero of a very popular trend. It is simply captioned Brazilian Miku, and you can see this post went absolutely crazy. This went viral.
I mean, it's not a particularly good image either. I do not know how they twisted that leg like that. It looks like she broke her knee, but okay.
It has over 400,000 likes and over 200 million views. That is crazy. But this art right here in this post would inspire a lot of variants and memes and also a lot of
Makes sense.
controversy
People
that
love
we'll
that.
get into in just a second. So let's see some examples from some.
I mean, what controversy can it be? Somebody made a character in a different, on a different like language or species or race or whatever you want to call it, but they made it from a different country.
International renditions of this character. You can see
That's cute.
Irish
That's
Miku
really cute.
right here. You can see Chinese
Ooh,
Miku.
that's cool.
You can also see Honduran Miku. And,
I don't know.
You know, born too late to explore the world, born too early to explore the stars, but born
There we go again.
just in time for culture detail like this. Well done. Also, Finnish Miku here.
Meh.
We have Siberian Doomer Miku. We're getting very specific
It's
now.
aight.
Here is Danish Miku.
Wow,
I'm
that
not
shit looks
European enough
terrible.
to understand what's going on here, but I'm sure it's very funny. And here's one last example of the international ones. Here's French Miku.
She
Well,
looks
let's go
dope.
back to the Brazilian Miku. Some people making offshoots of that and some memes like this. However, this edgy joke wasn't something people were mad at. What inspired the most
I think that's funny as fuck. Okay, little story time. I had a friend of mine who used to drive a lot in Brazil. He used to live in Punta Negra in Natal. And in Natal, there was a lot for a little while. There was a lot of people trying to rob others with the pang pang, with the pung pung. So one day he stopped at a stop sign and he's just, chilling out, driving as normal. Two people on a bike came up. One of them pulled up, I think he said it was an Uzi, and held it against his windshield. And he just pulled through every red light, just went as fast as he could. And he managed to outdrive them. However, that could have turned out like this situation.
controversy was this post right here. People would go absolutely crazy over
Why?
this post. This would make people frothing at the mouth angry. So why? It's simply captioned Brazilian Miku. You can see this version is a paler skinned, goth looking version of Miku. And that makes sense because the artist makes goth girls. Okay? And also you might notice in their bio, they are Brazilian. So
Oh no, don't tell me it's white people virtue signaling because the Brazilian Miku isn't brown enough. Because if you go to places like Argentina, a lot of people are white. And if you know Canelo Alvarez, which is a boxer, he's white. There's definitely fairly paler skinned people in Brazil.
here's the scenario. We have a Brazilian artist making a Brazilian character. What could possibly go wrong? All right, this is Twitter and people are incredibly ignorant. So people like to say, always that one guy, damn, we can't have anything. And this is basically what these people are referring to. The art is good, but why is she white? Why are you white? Why is she so pale? Whose white baby is this? Because it's not Brazilian Miku. Imagine the disrespect. 4,500 likes on the original post, basically telling this Brazilian artist that their own character is not Brazilian. Crazy. Here's more saying, has she never gone outside? Or this person saying, damn, what happened to her complexion, brah?
So basically, that would be like telling me that I'm not Norwegian because I'm brown.
Okay, let me help out these people because they seem to be a bit slow. This is the original artwork that inspired this trend. You don't need a magnifying glass to notice that she has tan lines because her skin is naturally more fair. And this is not something that's too surprising. I've had to see a lot of people, including Brazilians, come out to Twitter and say, hey, listen, guys, you don't understand how Brazilians work. Because a lot of Brazilians not only have fair skin, a good portion identify as white. So there are going to be fair-skinned Brazilians and also
How is this even a fucking problem? What are people talking about nowadays? We have inflation, we have people can't get houses, people can barely buy food, we have like a declining birth rate. but people are pissed off because they don't understand how the skin and melanin works. That's wild.
Brazilians who get a tan. And that's what's going on here. It is incredible. You have to explain this to people on Twitter. And they're the ones saying this artwork is offensive. Meanwhile, they're basically claiming that if you're south of a certain parallel on the globe, you automatically have to have dark skin, which is the actually offensive thing. But they're the ones who think they're in the right. And also we have this right here saying, if Hoyoverse made Brazilian Miku, how original. How's that boycott going, by the way? Here's another one saying, are you ever just able to tell by the way people draw? 22,000 likes. I literally have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know.
Me neither. I got fuck all idea what he's actually trying to say. Is he trying to say that it's racist? I mean, it's very difficult to call the Brazilian guy a racist for making a Brazilian character.
How anybody knows what you're talking about, but they would go on in the replies to say this. Brace yourselves. Haters in my comments defending this tweaker by saying they're goth and stuff. Well, I don't know if you found out yet. Goth people can be people of color without their
Jesus
whole body
Christ.
losing blood circulation, and that most deaf is not goth fashion. That's it. I'm muting this for real now. Search POC goth for a surprise.
Why is it always like white liberal art students that want to tell brown, black, and whatever other, if you want to call them yellow or whatever colors you want to talk about? Why is it always the fucking art students and the liberal ladies of the world that want to tell us that we are wrong? Like, oh, you can't be brown if you're Norwegian, or you can't be white if you're Brazilian. Why? What are you doing with your life? Go do something. Touch grass.
So basically, a Brazilian artist who makes goth characters makes a Brazilian goth character, and this person gets mad about it, and then people make fun of them for being mad about it, and then they respond by saying, well, look up people of color in goth. That'll show you. It's like, okay. Literally nobody's claiming otherwise. Like, yes, there are persons of color who are goth. Like, all right. The original artist never said that, so I don't know why you're tweaking out over this, but it's just a very bizarre situation where I think a lot of people are trying to get mad about this when in reality, the country in the center of this, Brazil, there are no Brazilians mad about this. I couldn't see any Brazilians actually mad about this artwork.
Makes sense,
and yet
because
you have
they're
so
not
many
fucking
people on Twitter
stupid.
trying to speak on their behalf. Very weird stuff, but very predictable. And while we're talking about controversy involving Hatsune Miku arts, when did Twitter decide collectively that sexualizing Hatsune Miku is totally fine and cool and no one has a problem with it? Which, by the way, there is no problem with it because it's a fictional character.
I was gonna say, before he said it, I was gonna say, what's the point? It's not like you're sexualizing somebody that exists. And even then, let's be honest, every single movie star has been sexualized to some degree. Like, at least the ones that are fairly attractive. Just look at Hugh Jackman when he takes off his shirt as Wolverine. Tell me girls aren't going to sitting there going, oh my god, he's so dreamy. Or when he's playing that theater director or whatever the fuck it was, like in that musical. I don't remember what it was called, but everybody's like, oh my god, he's so dreamy. Everybody's being sexualized. Stop it.
Do whatever you want. Who cares? But for years, aunties have been canceling people over sexualizing this exact character. In fact, 8 months ago, I made a video about this situation where Ninja Muffin was getting canceled by this thread that got hundreds of thousands of views, which was literally accusing them of being a predator and having CP in their likes. And that CP in question turned out to be Hatsune Miku's feet. That's what was nearly ruining this guy's life with these allegations that came out. And now all of a sudden with this recent trend, there's all this sexualized art and people just don't seem to have an issue with it. And I guarantee some of the people who have canceled others over Miku art are now joining in and liking art that has to do with this whole trend that is sexualizing the.
Yeah, but it's always like that. People tend to be. It's really easy for people to join in once the crowd says it's okay to join in, even if they wanted to join in beforehand. They're like, oh my god, so lovely, how do you make something so nice,
Character. Again, there's nothing wrong with this. It's a fictional character, who cares? But the standards on Twitter, and especially among aunties, is very hypocritical when it comes to this stuff.
Indeed.
But anyways, let's go back to the original thread here. There's some other variations I want to look at, and of course, those are the American ones. So let's start with this one right here. Florida X Hatsune.
I'm not gonna lie, that's actually kind of funny. That's a Florida Miku right there. A little bit of an angry one with a fucking alligator. Yeah, bruh.
Miku. So this is very good art. You might be thinking to yourself, wow, she has some real superpowers here to be able to basically capture this alligator, which I reply by saying, no superhuman skills, just your average Floridian can do that. But also, there's some other cool art here with the New Orleans, Louisiana, Miku right here. Pretty cool art.
They're pretty good.
There's also this one. This is one of my favorites right here. This is a biblically accurate Texas Miku, okay? You can see she has the cowboy hat. She looks like she's driving a truck. She's stuck in traffic. It's 105 degrees out. But most importantly, very, very fine detail that a lot of people overlook. Buc-ee's, right here. Buc-ee's. A couple years ago, I made my first trek to the temple of Buc-ee's, and I'll never forget that day. I'll never forget that brisket. It was amazing. It was life-changing. It changed my entire trajectory of my life right on the spot. Now I know that pretty much every single international viewer watching this has no idea what I'm talking about, and I'm probably sure that...
Nope. Zero idea. It seems like it's like some sort of meat place, because he was talking about briskets. I'm assuming it's a restaurant to some degree.
75% of Americans don't even know what I'm talking about with this whole tangent here, but just know Buc-ee's is supreme, okay? So here's the next one, North Carolina Hatsune Miku Charlotte
that's pretty
version.
shit, honestly.
And I will trust that this is a rendition of your average Miku from North Carolina, but I noticed the cheer wine, very delicious, but also the Bojangles, which we'll also see in this variation with the South Carolina...
That's what we want, baby. Look at that thick thighs.
Miku, and you can see this quote here. Hey, Bo, y'all want to vape in the Walmart parking lot?
Yeah, that's terrible.
I'm going to trust again that the artist, good art by the way, that they're making a rendition of what is the average South Carolina woman. But there's something about this character trope that is it's terrifying me. This woman terrifies me for some reason. I don't know why. But also there is a lot of very...
Okay, tell me. The person who made this is funny as fuck. This is hilarious.
Far-reaching art here. We're going like prehistoric here. This artist saying Europe, 47 million years BC, Darwinius Masalay Miku. My God, I know I'd mispronounce some things there, but that's a very interesting take on here, and they would make even more with...
Okay, see, they're just going further and further and further now into the point where it's just going to get ridiculous. I mean, it's already ridiculous, but at least people are having fun. Is not the most important thing about art. To feel something and to have fun, to make a story. And this is definitely a story that the internet will hopefully remember for a little while.
Some bacteria from 3.5 billion years ago. You can see we're going on a primordial level here. It's pretty impressive what people are coming up with for this trend. And as always, I like a good art trend. I think this one is excellent. It's produced a lot of good art and also good memes. And, you know, it reminds me of other popular art trends like the Bowsette and Boozette from a couple years ago. And I know a lot of people go, oh, Rev, come on, that was so Reddit, dude. And maybe it was a little corny at times, but like still, it produced a lot of good art and memes, and it was just fun. And honestly, it's way better than current trends we have nowadays. Like, you know, do we want another Skibidi Ohio Rizzler trend? Like, no, I'd rather have this Miku trend, produce really good stuff. And
the problem with a lot of trends is that a lot of them are just straight up shit. Like you saw when TikTok became big and everybody was like, the same fucking dance every single place, every single person. At least these people are like kind of making something different, because they're making Brazilian Miku, then Finnish Miku, Danish Miku, prehistoric Miku, and bacteria amoeba Miku. At least those are different things, and people are trying to create something unique.
And anytime there's a good art trend, I like to share with you guys so you can check it out for yourself. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
I'll see you next time, baby.